Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So we're going to continue on in this quest, this journey, this path here to getting to Uncollected. Um, we're going to go ahead and continue with the same team. I'm actually going to show you guys real quick. We have pushed up a couple people, mostly Apocalypse. He's got very good value for us, but we're not quite ready there yet. I'll show him off in some later videos. When we start doing bigger content with this account. Gonna go ahead and we're gonna take what I'm gonna consider the easy path here. The only real problem we may encounter will be Nightcrawler. And that's only because I am rusty as can be with him, and if you're out of practice on him, his evade is a pain. I'm gonna look here at the global nodes for everybody. Role reversal, we talked about that before. Champions that normally have class disadvantage now have a class advantage. The Mystic Ward. This one is an interesting. So normally, if you would have been taking in a champion with to nullify effects, it would fail most of the time. But with Tigra, hers is not a nullify, it's a negate. So she bypasses that Mystic Ward. And then finally we have the Buffet node. And this one is the one that can actually affect you quite a bit. It is a low percentage, it's only 5% regen that they're going to get. But every time you trigger a buff, immediately that gets nullified and they get 5% of their max health back. But it does have a 7-second cooldown. So if your buffs are triggering back to back, you may be able to get one or two off before and actually keep one of them. But you want to be careful too much on having any champions that actually trigger back to back buffs because of the fact of every time that cooldown bypasses, then you're going to turn around and give them back 5% health. So too many of those, and that'll start to hurt you. You can see there, I talked about the difference between the nullify and the neutralize, and we are already right off the bat able to neutralize him. Not that that's doing too much for us, but it does do some, especially if we, don't screw up. Do have to watch out. Obviously, we need to get the special ones in to get both of her effects off and get that maximum damage. But we're kind of in a pinch here because we got to watch out for his stinger. We already missed it on the special one. But we will go ahead and still do most of our damage with that special 2. That was a complete mess up on my part. I 100% admit it. Should have went into the heavy charge there and had the free evade on that. I'm going to go ahead and bring her back and let her finish that off because we were way too close on that. I've talked about that before. Sometimes the best thing is don't get caught up on whether or not you're doing the fight perfectly. Just go ahead and be ready with some units and some revives and a few potions and just push through on the content. And that will do it for Ant-Man. Now, I think we're actually, even though Aegon is going to be the one with the advantage with the role reversal there, I think what we're going to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and try Tigra, see if we can deal with a bit of that evade. Because part of the problem with his evade is if you can bypass him when he goes into that cloud of smoke and still have another hit quickly enough, you can still get him at least. And with the range of her attack, I think we might just be able to pull that off. Okay, well, I mean, we didn't get him, but that was an easy go at it there. Um, we did go ahead and get quite a bit there off of him. Let's see if we can't finish him off with Aegon. We'll bring Tiger back for a later fight, or if we need to finish him off with her, we may try it. Like I said, guys, I knew Nightcrawler would be my fight that I would have the most problems with on this path. But compared to some of the other options out there, definitely the easier path to choose. Still got through him there fairly easy. It's a champion you don't see much anymore. Really, honestly, no. There's too many mutant options. Nightcrawler is rarely somebody's first or second choice to power up out of the mutant class. Um, you used to fight him all the time in war, and even in Event Quest, I don't see him that often anymore. The monthly Event Quest, or even any side quests. So yeah, I'm just a little rusty with him, but that'll show you again, as I said over and over, and I will continue to say, as long as you have stack your units up before you decide to push on story content, and make sure you got some potions, some revives, and be prepared to just buckle down, revive, and keep going. Okay, everybody. Part of the reason why I'm doing this is because of the fact that there are champions like Falcon here who, in the last couple of years, have gotten such a rework. I mentioned Juggernaut being on one of the other paths that I definitely don't want to deal with. I mean, eventually we'll go through in 100%. But Falcon's buff made him a whole nother champion. Probably shouldn't have taken Aegon in that week, but he is. If you pull him and you're questioning whether or not to level him up, there's definitely only a few skill champions that I would say would be a better choice, and some of those it really matters. Nick Fury is a solid one to talk about. He, if you have him, obviously, and the second you have a chance to awaken him, he becomes a go-to champion there. Um, but if you're looking for a champion that is one of those key to many situation type champions, Falcon is not a bad option by any means. As a matter of fact, I have him fairly powered up on this account, but not quite enough to be on the main team, especially not with the fact that I ended up with the 6-star Aegon there, and have been able to put a few sig stones into him, not nearly as many as we need to have into him to really have his true effectiveness, but still enough to definitely put him as a linchpin on our team. So, and we'll go ahead and thank Falcon for the indestructible there and all the charges, and that will set her up to carry us through at least a couple fights at some point throughout this. And let's go ahead and head on into Black Widow here. Now, one of the things we could have done with the Falcon fight was definitely take Colossus in, even though we do have the class disadvantage in these situations. But Falcon's bleed is definitely higher than Black Widow's by far. And obviously, you can't bleed Colossus. So, now, this fight, I'm already seeing is going to be a great one to be the example of why you got to watch that buffet node. Colossus is, one of the big things about Colossus is being able to get his armor up, and that one cost us because we triggered her regen several times there, as I'm sure you noticed. Let's go ahead and see if we can't finish her off here with Star-Lord. This may, I might just have a little bit of a rough round here. Another one you got to watch out on is obviously dexing and parrying are buffs. So try and be careful about how much you trigger that, or at least make sure that when you do, you take full advantage of the timer. Now, we always got to be careful about creating our openings in these situations. Obviously, if you can bait out a special, you want to do that. Avoid you always, in just about every situation, want to avoid the special 3. So if you can get the baited out special, you're going to be a lot better. If you can catch the parry and get the stun, that's always going to be better for you. Obviously, it doesn't work as effectively right there, but still, timing is the biggest key to this game, and hopefully by the time that you're talking about going for Uncollected, you are starting to learn the timing. It is the key, and it is what is going to carry you from this point forward, and what is absolutely necessary to carry you from this point forward. So, well, let's go ahead and head on into the Drax fight here. We'll probably see if his buddy Star-Lord can't go ahead and finish him off. Okay. Like I said, we got the class disadvantage here with Star-Lord, meaning we have class advantage. Everything is backwards, upside down, tipsy-turvy, and all around. Now, let's just go ahead and see if we can't have a little friendly rivalry here. We are definitely triggering that buffet node quite a bit this round. More than I have in most of the other fights. Colossus was the only one that I saw that I triggered quite this much with. but I'm getting those dexes off so much. It's not surprising we're triggering it quite as much as we are. Time that special badly. Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not playing perfectly. Yeah, guys, I mean, this one may go down as one of the rougher ones that I've given you guys for a walkthrough, but we will go ahead and push through. And we will show you guys that it can be done. And just remember, just because I play badly once in a while doesn't mean that it won't be your time when you try it. You know, the biggest thing about these videos, I've said it, you know, I just like I just said, I'm not trying to play perfectly here. I could go through and only play perfect matches, edit it all together so that you guys never see me lose. And my champions are fairly close to their spot when they go in and all of that, but I think it's important to make mistakes. I think it's good for everybody to see somebody not play perfectly. Somebody not be proving that they are so good that they can bring in 3-star champions and walk through Act 5. Because I know that I'm not the only one out there that had a rough time doing it. I mean, there are definitely things that make these paths easier than they were when I did it the first time. And there are things that make it more difficult than it was when I did it the first time. Very specifically, like I said, the champions who have been buffed, their buffs took them to a whole nother level. But again, having the supplies, just being willing to keep pushing, and understanding that it doesn't matter how many units, how many potions, how many revives you use, the more you push, the further you get, the better that your rewards will be, the easier it will be to pull new champions, the better free stuff you will get, let alone the offers. Okay, we're a little beat up here, so we're definitely going to end up having a revive before we get to Joe Fix It. But let's see how far Captain Marvel can carry us before we do. I mean, I have several small single revives. Well, we at least got her a few more charges. But I think what we're going to do here is use Team Revive. And I think we're going to actually lesson. If you do not know this, and I'm guessing by the time you get this far, you should know this. Never buy team health potions. They're not worth it. You can individually heal up your champions so much more for cumulatively less. I don't think we're going to go ahead and heal up, though. I think we're just going to go off the 40% revive and take Scarlet Witch down here. She is the first champion, as I mentioned earlier, that gets us anything unlinked. But we are going to bypass what she unlinks for us, so that really isn't going to matter. absolutely love Tiger's ability to dodge every single projectile. Doesn't matter who it's coming from, as long as you're holding the heavy at least. Uh, so, might as well go ahead and bring Captain Marvel movie in here to finish her off. Obviously, this is going to be one of your harder where your fights are going to start really ramping up. And be prepared, because these last 3 levels after this one, I do remember there being some challenges coming. So we are going to go ahead and push through and just keep reminding everybody it doesn't have to be perfect. You just got to get there. There are definitely a few champions I wish I had for some of the things that are coming up that I don't. But I've said it over and over again. Don't get caught up on who you do and don't have. Figure out who you have that you can work with, that you enjoy working with, that you can feel comfortable working with. Because it doesn't matter whose rank list it's on, who says what about a champion. If they're not who you're comfortable using and you can't get that usefulness out of them, they're not your one. And occasionally, even if it is your one or the ones that you have decided to rank up, you may find that you don't like them as much as you thought, or you might just have a bad round with them. Obviously, this is not going as well as I had hoped, and we are going to get stuck reviving again against Cyclops, one of the champions that we really should not be having this much trouble with. It's late and I am out of practice, but I'm promising that I was going to get these videos out. So we are going to push through tonight, and then I'm going to set up to record in the morning for the next one. But as is the pattern with the channel so far, there really won't be a delay between when they come out. As things grow and as I'm able to do a few more things and the equipment is going better, we will go ahead and probably set up an ongoing schedule. Definitely going to start doing live streams next month. I will, when we get closer to that point, I will announce when and how often. A lot of things coming up, and I'm really enjoying getting to know everybody. I'm enjoying those of you who have reached out. I invite those of you who haven't yet to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that like button, leave a comment. I will respond to everyone that does. So please reach out. Let's talk. Okay, so let's finish this. Tiger is the only one we really didn't have to bring in here before we did the revive. As long as we can keep him off of us, we can definitely deal with his special one a lot better with her. All his specials. Obviously, we won't deal with the special three because um, we don't want to deal with anybody's special three. And good night, Cyclops. That's how easy that should have been in the first place, to be honest with you. Occasionally, it is worth using the small revive instead of bringing back the entire team. Um, and I probably should have just brought her in right off the start, knowing who I was dealing with there. Um, Stoppable Colossus, somewhere between a trophy and a mean champ sometimes. Um, he's probably, I mean, time consumption wise to obtain him as a 5 or a 6 star. Um, More so than probably almost anybody else in the game, other than maybe Punisher um, or Iron Fist, and that's only because they are so RNG really determined that you're not gonna have any control over whether how you get them. Um, Obviously, otherwise, outside of that, he's. It's nice to have him in your collection. That's what I'm gonna say, and that's even considering the fact that he definitely just handed it to my Captain Marvel in this movie. There, again, another time that, to be truthful with you, I try not to break her up as much as I know I should. But this is another fight that I really honestly should have just brought Tigra in on because she shuts him down. There are so many champions, and it's really great to have her rupture charges and her neutralize against. And he is definitely one of them. And despite the fact that we didn't finish him off in one shot there, um, we're just going to slip back in and go ahead and do it. Or we'll play badly for a second and totally nullify everything I just said. uh, but I think we're going to go ahead and save the grace on that one because that was ridiculous. I think I've already said it once in this video, and I'm gonna say it again. This may not go down as the cleanest run out of this entire series. It's clearly going to be a rough one. Um, but this will probably be the realest video of everyone in the series because there's no question whatsoever um, that I'm not just trying to prove that you don't have to be perfect and that occasionally the best thing you can do is just save up some units, save up some potions, save up some revives, and take each level until you run out. And when you do run out of them, if you're part of the way through a level, go play some arena and grab some units so you can finish the level. If you get low enough that you know you've been using a lot on the level that you just finished, and you have less than a quarter of what you started with, take a break for a day or two, or a week or two, or however long it takes you to farm up the units, the potions, and the revives, and then come back. Go check a couple videos out, see what path you feel is the best for you, and continue on. We'll finish off Spider-Gwen here, and then we got just Joe Fixit left. So, okay, well, I swiped back 5 times, and we had no input response on that one. So, that didn't help the beginning of that fight. Okay, guys. We're just going to say goodnight to Spider-Gwen, like we said we were going to do. And then we are going to go deal with Joe Fixit. And we'll probably start off with Colossus and Joe Fixit anyways, because, again, another champion that we have to worry about a high rate of bleed coming out of. And I think for that, Colossus and Tigra are actually going to be our go-to champs. Colossus for the bleed immunity, and Tigra to go ahead and make sure that he misses. Now that we went ahead and got through that with Colossus, let's go ahead and see if we can't do the same thing here with Joe Fixit. Obviously, the easiest thing would be is if we could get him right away. We do, like I said, we do have. I do think that Tiger and Colossus are probably going to be our go-tos for this. Let's go ahead and run Star-Lord real quick, and then we will revive Tigra if we need. The buffet node is going to definitely be a bit to deal with here. We're going to have to watch it. I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple potions into her that way. If we slip up at all, obviously it's been a rough run this time. So let's go ahead and account for the idea of slipping up a little bit. Which we're obviously going to do right off the bat. And we will turn around and do it again. So, this is not the fight I planned on showing you guys. That we would have to revive up and keep going repeatedly. But because it's been such a rough night, I want you guys to keep in mind, you know, even on an easy path, sometimes you just have a rough one. If you see that coming on early, don't spend the units. Don't spend the potions. Don't spend the revives. Step back, rest up, maybe go play something else. Even if it's another mode or it's another game altogether, and come back and do it again. Don't frustrate yourself thinking that you got to get through this every time. That actually went really smoothly, to be truthful with you, in spite the fact that we didn't cause the miss there the way that Tigra does. But we definitely brought him down quite a bit, and we can go ahead and bank off of that to hopefully tie this up and call this one in the bag. And we did. There you go, guys. I told you Tiger would be our champion on this one. She does so much for us. She's not even awakened yet. But we do have her pushed up a bit. Still keep in mind, guys, I show you guys the rough plays because I'm not perfect. And I don't want you guys to expect that you need to be either. Revive, potion up, and keep going. I don't know how many times I can say it. It's the most important thing to remind yourself in this game. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. Don't get caught up in how everybody else is doing. And this is not just advice for this game, it's advice for every game and every aspect of your life. Don't get caught up. But do be sure to check us back for the next one. We'll go ahead and have that out probably the same day that we get this one out. Be looking forward to knocking out these last 3 levels. I'm going to rest up a little bit, and then we're going to start fresh and give us some better gameplay for the next few. So I appreciate everybody. Give me that support, Tell me how you push through in spite of it being a little costly for you. I don't care if you're talking about the game or if you're talking about life. Trust me, I've had more than my fair shares of times that I went down, got back up, and we pushed on. And tonight was a great example of it in game. So remember to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and I will see you back for the next one. Peace out.